Okay, well, look, hi, everybody. Here we are, week 5. Okay, we just finished up the exam from last week and papers and so forth. So what I want to touch base on is what we got going on this week for us, okay? Now, we just have our quiz, and we have our discussion, and we have our paper. Now, we're switching over to Congress and civil liberties as our theme this week, okay? So in the discussion, there's a couple things I want you to do. I want you to look at basically how a bill becomes a law, the process by which legislation is created, if you will. You know, you can remember your old Schoolhouse Rock days, right? I'm just a bill up on Capitol Hill. So go ahead and look through the text, make sure you get the process. I mean, it doesn't need to be overly detailed, but get the feel for how it becomes an idea of a congressperson and then becomes an actual law that applies to the country. What is that process? How does it go through? Remember, it goes through both houses and the president. And then think in terms of committees and things like that, okay? So that's the first thing I want you to look at, right? It's how a bill becomes a law. And then the civil liberties end of it, I want you to look at the First Amendment, our freedom of speech and our freedom of religion, and the Fourth Amendment, our right to be free from unreasonable search and seizures. And I want you to take a position, if you will, or throw out your ideas on what you think Congress's ability is, or how well they're able to protect our First and Fourth Amendment freedoms, okay? So we want you to look at Congress's, task, their ability to create laws. Okay, so understand that. And then look at our First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, our Fourth Amendment, freedom from unreasonable search and seizures, and think about how well can Congress, with their lawmaking ability, protect those constitutional rights that we have. That's the way you want to think of it. How well? Maybe you don't think they can. You can critique them and say, no, they should be able to do a better job. And no, they do a real good job because da-da-da. So you take a side, you take a position. But that's the way you want to do it. But you have to understand how a bill becomes a law before you can decide or offer an opinion on whether you think their lawmaking ability can indeed protect our constitutional freedoms, okay? So that's what we have in the discussion this week. Now, for the paper, I uploaded for you Federalist number 10, a classic and Federalist paper, and then one of the essays by the anti-Federalist, Federal Farmer. And as I say in the prompt, both men offer up the idea of these dangers that are in society, the dangers that a government has to face, dangers that the government must overcome to indeed be a working, logical, functioning government, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to tell me who makes a stronger argument, right? They both offer up ideas on these are the dangers in society. These are the dangers of too powerful a government. These are the dangers of too weak a government. These are the dangers of people running a government, a democratic. They offer a lot of ideas about the difficulties that exist out there, right, with creating government and the difficulties that exist within governments that are already functioning, okay? So what I'm asking you to do is read Federalist 10, read Federal Farmer, okay? Take a look at what are the dangers that these men are talking about. And then who do you think made the better argument? Who had the stronger argument and why? Okay. Now, just one thing. Last week's papers, as a rule, you guys are doing a real nice job on them. But the one little flaw I see starting to creep up a bit, you need to make sure you pull examples right from those documents, right? That's why we're uploading. I've uploaded these documents for you. I want you to read these original documents, and then I want you to cite from them. Your opinions are great, and your interpretations have been quite good. All right, and those are valuable, and I respect those a great deal. But we have to have support, specific support from the document, okay? So show me that here's what I read in the document. It said in the document this, and I think it means this. See, if you just offer up your opinion on it, which is often quite valid, and again, is good as any, but you've got to have some support for it. So if you think this is the position, what from the document made you think that? Okay, and that's something that we have to make sure we do a little better job on this week, okay? So when I'm looking for examples, I'm asking for examples, pull it right out of the document. In Federalist 10, Madison said this, all right? In Federal Farmer, this is what he said, okay? And that leads me to think this. This person made a stronger argument because in their document, Federalist 10, they said this and this and this. Or no, in Federal Farmer, he said this and this and this. Or you're comparing the two, right? Federal Farmer said this, but I think Madison made a better point in 10 when he said this. So that's what I'm after. So make sure you do a better job this week of pulling pieces right from the documents to support those real good opinions and interpretations you have. Okay, and like everything else, if you ever have a question or what's going on in class, we're already to week 5. All right, just into the home stretch here, over the hump on the halfway side, working the other way. All right, never hesitate to contact me. I'm always available. Okay, always here to help if you need help. I know things get a little crazy sometimes, so always touch base with me. Let me know, because I'll help you in any way I can. All right, make sure too that you're doing a good job on the reply posts. Your initial discussion posts, for the most part, have been quite good, but let's not short shrift the discussion by not giving good, thoughtful replies. And again, polite discourse, right? Polite disagreement. I know I ask for disagreement. Pick one out that you disagree with, but we want to do it in a polite way. All right, we don't want to challenge anybody's intellect. We don't want to challenge anybody as far as the correctness of their post. What you want to just offer up is, I saw this and my opinion is this. I want to politely disagree because I think this is where it was going. You said this, and while I see your point, always give credence to that side. I think it's more along this line, okay? So we want to be respectful of each other. We want to be thoughtful in our discussion, so take some time to really work on those replies this week, okay? As always, if there's anything you need, let me know. Have a good week, guys. Bye-bye.